Hello friends, let's talk about common reasons for refusal of a visitor visa application. What are the reasons for refusal and why the visitor visa applications get refused most of the time and most commonly? First, you must have seen that whenever somebody's visa application is refused, there is a common ground for rejection, and that is that you will not return back to your home country. So what exactly do they seek from you? What kind of ties do they look for? So basically there are three types of ties that normally are established in visa applications. First, it is family ties. So whether you have family members, immediate family members back home that are waiting for you. That is one reason. The other is property ties. So whether you have any properties registered under your name. Third, your employment. What do you do back home? Whether it is business, whether you have provided sufficient documentation to prove your business, or whether you have a job and you have provided a leave letter from a job. That is, leave letter is important, because if you haven't got a leave, basically you don't have any authorization to travel to Canada leaving your job. So that's important. So these are certain reasons, these are the certain ties that the visa officers look at while assessing the visitor visa application. Now, what are the common mistakes that people do while applying for a visitor visa? First is the funds. Normally, sometimes people simply deposit a chunk of money, a large chunk of money in their bank accounts, and then they simply submit their bank statements, and then the application is refused for the lack of funds, because they don't trust where did the money come from. They don't trust that. But that again, that reminds me of something. That becomes a procedural fairness issue, and you can challenge that in the federal court. Let's just say that if you have large deposits in your bank account and the visa officer doubts where did the money come from, then technically that becomes a credibility issue, and the federal court has established that in credibility concerns, the visa officers are required to give you the procedural fairness, to give you an opportunity to respond to their concerns. That is one thing. But coming back to the point of the requirement of funds in visitor visa application, the most common mistake that people do is depositing a large chunk of money in their bank account, and they don't explain where did the money come from. So that is the biggest mistake that people do. Some people even submit a balance certificate, so they don't even submit the bank statements and simply get a balance certificate from the bank and submit it in the visa application. That is plainly wrong. You shouldn't be doing that. It's plainly wrong, because the visa officer doesn't have sufficient opportunity to examine your documents. Where did the money come from? So I don't recommend submitting simply a balance certificate in any visa application. That is one mistake that you should not be doing. If somebody has properties, they will definitely obtain property valuation reports and submit it, like property appraisals, to demonstrate that what is the current market value of the property. But if somebody doesn't have properties, you cannot manipulate the documents. You cannot say that, I have properties on my name. No, that is again a misrepresentation. The thing that you can do at this point is Maybe you can show your parents' properties and show that you are inheriting these properties in the long run. That becomes a tie. Sometimes education is also a tie. Let's say if a student is studying, let's just say that if somebody is in last year of their studies, and that becomes a tie, saying that, okay, the person cannot leave his studies, a person cannot leave half done studies and stay back in Canada. So that becomes an important tie. The other thing is family. Some people prefer to submit the applications for the whole family. It depends on individual circumstances, but sometimes it is advisable to submit the application of one person so that an immediate family member is residing back home, and that is the reason why they would be more inclined to think that you will return, because you have an immediate family member residing in your home country. So that is another way of looking at things. And the other thing is employment. Now, so a lot of the times I've seen that people do not submit sufficient business documentation, regarding their ongoing businesses or ongoing engagements in their home country, which I think they should be doing. Like, let's say, for example, if somebody's doing a business, then at least show them how the business is doing. If the business is strong enough, then it'll be better for the application. If the business is not doing that great, then definitely it's a negative factor. So these are some of the reasons why some of the common reasons why the visitor visa applications get refused. But there are ways to strengthen the application. I'm not saying to manipulate any documents. I'm just saying that there may be ways to present the matter properly. There can be other engagements. There can be social engagements back home. But you have to be creative in the submission letter. A lot of people don't write a submission letter properly. Submission letter is the heart of your application. Some people even submit the application without submission letter. This is a grave mistake. Grave mistake. Always submit any kind of application with a submission letter. The submission letter is the heart of your application. It should state why you are submitting this application and how you are qualified to submit this application. Submission letter basically throws some light on the purpose of your visit. You have to be explanatory. I'm not saying like write 10 pages, 15 pages. No. In short, but concise and to the point. Submission letter, like writing a submission letter, is an art that not everybody knows. But submission letter is the most important document of your application. Whatever may be the deficiencies that are present in your application, you can defend yourself in that submission letter. So be clear, be concise, and to the point. For more tips and for more knowledge on immigration, please subscribe to my channel, and thank you for watching.